And no one, I mean no one, is paying to see Angel Reese attempt to play basketball. Hell, not even Mama Reese is paying to watch this lack of skill.
The numbers don't lie, and they tell a story the WNBA can't afford to ignore. When Caitlin Clark went down with a left quad strain on May 25, 2025, the impact was swift and far-reaching. Her absence sent shockwaves through the league's financial ecosystem, exposing a glaring reality. Clark's star power isn't just unique. It's irreplaceable. As she prepares to miss at least 2 weeks. The disparity in fan engagement and marketability between her and the rest of the league has never been more obvious. For players like Angel Reese and the struggling Chicago Sky, it's a sobering reminder of just how much one superstar can shape the narrative and the bottom line of professional women's basketball.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game.
The moment Caitlin Clark's injury made headlines, the WNBA's fragile economic momentum collapsed like a house of cards. Ticket prices for Indiana Fever games nosedived by a staggering 42%, plunging from an average of $137 to just $80, virtually overnight. This wasn't a slow dip or a routine market adjustment. It was an instant verdict from fans. Without Clark on the court, the product simply didn't hold the same value.
Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement. An average ticket price of $137 all the way down to $80. People are selling their tickets. Definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower.
The Chicago Sky paid the price, literally. In anticipation of Caitlin Clark's drawing power. The team had moved their June 7th matchup against the Indiana Fever from the 10,387-seat Wintrust Arena to the cavernous 21,000-seat United Center. It was a calculated gamble meant to capitalize on Clark's star appeal. But when news of her injury broke, that gamble unraveled fast. Ticket prices plummeted, with the get-in price dropping from $86 to just $25. What was meant to be a marquee event turned into a financial gut punch. For a franchise that had heavily invested in a venue upgrade to ride the Clark wave, the fallout was immediate and unforgiving.
The Sky relocated the game to the United Center, the home of the Chicago Bulls and the largest arena in the NBA, expecting a marquee matchup between Clark and Sky forward Angel Reese. Now here's where it gets sweet, all right? It gets real interesting right here. However, uncertainty looms as ticket prices for the game have plummeted dramatically following Clark's injury announcement. Oh my goodness. Since it became likely she will miss the June 7th game, ticket prices have dropped a staggering 71%. Oh my goodness. Following from an entry price of $86 to just $25 according to TickPick.
This economic freefall exposes a truth the WNBA has long tiptoed around. The league's current surge in popularity isn't evenly shared among its stars. While players like Angel Reese have earned headlines and accolades, the hard numbers paint a different picture, one where Caitlin Clark stands alone at the summit of marketability. The financial data reveals a clear hierarchy of star power, and Clark occupies a tier all her own. The television viewership numbers make the case even clearer. According to Fox Sports analysis, regular season games featuring Clark and the Indiana Fever have averaged a staggering 1.178 million viewers, nearly triple the WNBA's average of 394,000. This isn't a small bump or a slight lead. It's a total recalibration of the league's television appeal, driven by a singular generational talent.
WNBA franchises that moved games like the Chicago Sky to the United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked. Nobody is going to show up to this thing. Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent. They're a dumpster fire now. And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe. The May 17, 2025 matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky was a textbook example of Caitlin Clark's drawing power. The game pulled in 2.7 million viewers, the most watched WNBA regular season game in 25 years. At its peak, the broadcast reached 3.1 million viewers, a number that speaks volumes. Clark isn't just attracting diehard basketball fans. She's pulling in casual sports viewers who typically skip women's basketball altogether. To put it in perspective, this single regular season game outdrew some playoff series from past seasons, a jaw-dropping testament to Clark's influence. And when you zoom out, the data becomes even more dramatic. Of the 24 WNBA broadcasts that surpassed 1 million viewers during the 2024 season, 21 featured Caitlin Clark. That means nearly 90% of the league's top-rated games were tied directly to her presence. And it's not just TV. Fan attendance tells the same story. The only 3 games in 2024 that broke the 20,000 mark in live attendance all involved the Indiana Fever. In every measurable way, Caitlin Clark isn't just a star. She's the gravitational center of the WNBA.
We know that wherever she goes, she's selling out arenas. The ticket prices skyrocket. Like, even trying to get tickets to Carver Hawkeye Arena when they played the Brazilian national team at her old school was just insane prices. If she's going on the road, wherever she's going, ticket sales jumped by 140%. Average is $312. Like, that's crazy.
As the WNBA adjusts to life without Caitlin Clark on the court, no team feels the sting of her absence more acutely than the Chicago Sky. Now 0-4 to start the 2025 season. The Sky are stuck in an uncomfortable reality, winless, directionless, and increasingly overlooked, even as their so-called rival continues to dominate headlines. From the bench, Angel Reese, long framed as Clark's chief rival dating back to their college clashes, now faces a daunting challenge: staying relevant on a team. Still searching for an identity. The Sky's rocky start has not only derailed early season expectations but also coincided with a noticeable dip in fan and media interest. The contrast becomes even starker when you follow the money. Tickets for the United Center showdown with Indiana were priced at a premium, thanks to Clark. But outside of that one marquee matchup, the Sky's regular home games at Wintrust Arena are struggling to sell, with some tickets going for as little as $17. That pricing isn't arbitrary. It's the market speaking clearly. In a league where star power drives everything from attendance to airtime, the absence of marquee talent has left the Sky facing both a competitive and commercial vacuum.
WNBA will be reliant on their other stars to maintain the interest of the mainstream. With Angel Reese being the only player with mainstream name recognition, most of the pressure, it is going to be on her to perform. And we have plenty of evidence that proves Angel Reese is not qualified to carry the league.
The Sky's struggles go far deeper than the standings. Their 0-4 start has ignited a larger conversation about the team's identity and long-term direction. Without the built-in spotlight that comes from playing Caitlin Clark, Chicago is left to rely entirely on its on-court performance to draw attention. And early signs suggest that product isn't compelling enough to sustain the buzz the franchise briefly enjoyed during peak rivalry moments. A comprehensive economic analysis underscores just how central Clark has become to the WNBA's financial ecosystem. During her rookie season, she was responsible for a staggering 26.5% of all league-wide economic activity. Projections for 2025 estimated her potential impact at $875 million, with a realistic path toward surpassing the $1 billion mark. And these aren't speculative figures. They are grounded in hard data, measurable surges in ticket sales, merchandise revenue, national TV ratings, and local economic boosts in every city the Indiana Fever visit. Clark isn't just a superstar. She's an economic engine driving the league's modern era.
Caitlin Clark could be projected to be $1 billion revenue maker for the WNBA this year. Now, obviously, the WNBA won't see that money, won't see most of that money, and it's not just in the WNBA, but it's all of her sponsorships, it's all of her appearances, it's all that stuff. But according to the projections, we're looking at $875 million could easily eclipse $1 billion on her economic impact. Caitlin Clark entering the league last year was responsible for 26.5% of all of their economic activity. So revenue from merchandise, which again, with the CBA as it is currently, she doesn't see a dime of any of that. TV, and then ticket sales, obviously, which again, they don't get anything.
The market's immediate response to Caitlin Clark's injury was a real-time confirmation of her staggering economic influence. When ticket prices plunge 42% within hours of her being ruled out, it becomes clear. Clark's value isn't theoretical. It's tangible, measurable, and deeply embedded in the WNBA's financial structure. The league has built a substantial portion of its current economic momentum around a single player, a strategy that offers both unprecedented opportunity and significant vulnerability. Clark's billion-dollar impact isn't confined to ticket sales alone. According to reports from Fanatics, her presence has driven a 500% surge in league-wide merchandise sales. Meanwhile, Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% year-over-year spike in WNBA-related sales from 2023 to 2024, a leap directly linked to Clark's arrival. These aren't short-term bumps or fleeting novelty spikes. They represent a fundamental shift in consumer behavior and spending patterns. Clark hasn't just changed the way people watch the WNBA, she's transformed the way they buy into it.